Okay, today I am doing a beard styling tutorial. I'm going to show you some of the products that I use, going to show you some of the tools that I use, and I will show you some of the styling techniques that I use. So let's get started. So this is actually my second styling of post shower. The first one kind of sets this shape, so this is more just kind of like getting it ready to go out in the world. So I start with homemade sea salt spray. There's a lot of recipes online, but it's basically just salt and water. This one is pink Himalayan salt and tap water. So I'm just gonna spray this, saturate the hair pretty thoroughly. And I will probably make some weird faces while I do this because I try to get like the hair so it's all like on a flat surface, so forgive me for the weird faces. Alright, so I'm going to start by using the sea salt spray and comb. This is a Kent comb, and I'm just trying to get the hair saturated relatively thoroughly, so start by doing that. Step a little closer so I can have a mirror behind this camera. So forgive me for looking behind the camera, or not looking at the camera. All the time, at least. I spray pretty liberally. Since the product itself really doesn't cost much of anything, I'd rather make sure that it's thoroughly wet. And if I get salt water all over my chest, then oh well. And this comb that I'm using this is pretty much the only thing I use it for, just because it'll have some salt residue on it, and I don't want to I don't like little salt flakes in my beard if I'm just like using the comb to just comb it like a maintenance comb throughout the day. So I have a different main comb, and this is my salt spray comb. I could also solve this, or accomplish the same thing by thoroughly washing this. I just give it a rinse and I owned this comb and never used it before I started using the sea salt spray, so it's just kind of an excuse to use the comb, quite honestly. So I'm taking a little longer than I normally would, but it's pretty thorough at this point. I don't worry about the mustache too much. I kind of push this side part into it, but I don't see much need to put spray on, sea salt spray on the mustache. So that is the first step. Second step is, I use this stuff. I buy this at Target. I've done a lot of shopping around, and this is definitely like the most economically priced balm on the market that I can find. And it's readily available at Target, so can't go wrong there. Anyway, so let's scoop that out with my thumb, back of my thumb, the nail of my thumb. And then that's about how much I use. Alright, let's rub that together through the hands. It melts down pretty easily. Some of them take a lot of effort. This one doesn't. So then I'm just gonna come in and thoroughly rub this through. Key is to really go deep with it. My approach is to really try to get it on the skin. Think of it like I'm trying to get the balm directly on the skin, like I don't even care about the hair. Like I just want to get it on the skin, and then that will get it in pretty deep, and then it kind of naturally just works its way out through the ends of the hair. And then I just kind of assist it with that as well. The balm I do get in the mustache. That's important. The balm is also important for the sea salt spray. I wouldn't use just salt and water if I weren't using some type of conditioning product as well, because that could make the hair excessively dry. So the rest of this I'll just wipe on my head. All right. Now I will blow dry. And I'll use this brush I got at Sally's. It's like 10 or 15 bucks, I think. I like the detangler ends because they allow me to get a good pull on the hair and get it shaped around my jawbone the way I want. And then this is just a cheap hair dryer I bought at Target, I think. Alright, so I'm going to start with the right side of my face here. The sea salt spray serves basically two purposes. First is to add texture to the look of the hair. It also helps me grab onto it a little bit more easily with the brush. But to add a bit of a textured look and feel to it. And then secondly, to just give it a bit more volume, a bit more of a poof, a good poof. So what I'm doing with the brush is just grabbing hold of the hair and pulling out and then twisting down. The round brush is really great for the purpose of that, so I highly recommend the round brush. But yeah, it's just pulling out and twisting down repeatedly. I do the sides first, then I'll go to the chin or goatee area. I think it's important to do that chin goatee area in the middle of this process because it doesn't really look right to end on it having there's too many hairs being directed in that backwards direction. So I'll do the middle section here and then come back and do the sides again just to give it a better overall shape. And that is pretty much all there is to shaping the beard. Just really want to accentuate the jaw with the way I style it. That's my styling process, just kind of thicken the jaw. Alright, and then this is another kink comb. This is my main comb. And on to the mustache here. My mustache is pretty thin. Doesn't take a lot of effort to get it to do what it's going to do. So just some hot air, just brushing it over to either side, straighten it out, and that's pretty much that when it comes to doing the mustache. Alright, and then I use my Boar hair bristle brush. I got this at Sally's too. I think it was like $3 or something, pretty cheap. Has this other side on the back that's a little too rough to use, but this side's fine. So then I'll come through and make more stupid faces and just kind of make sure everything's going in the same direction. I use the Boar bristle brush to just kind of get everything looking as one, like as one cohesive, instead of many multiple hairs, just one cohesive group of hairs type of thing. A little bit through the mustache. And I'll use the comb just to kind of direct the mustache. And go through the hair again. Go through the hair again. And then that is pretty much that. This is usually the point at which I'll do some touch-up trimming if I'm going to be doing that. Mostly under here. This area is probably one of the most critical and most difficult areas of a beard to keep looking nice. Alright, and that is how I style my beard. So if you have questions, leave them in the comment section and I will answer them, and that's it.